Hey guys, it's Destiny, and today we're going to be showcasing the Herta alongside Serval. And before we get into today's video, I would love to know if you're pulling for the Herta or someone else. And lastly, if you enjoy videos like these, do make sure to subscribe, leave a like to support the video, and now let's get straight into it. So here we are with our very first Herta showcase, which by the way guys, I am so freaking excited to show off this character. This is by far one of my favorite characters in the game, just design-wise. Her gameplay is so freaking fun, and I think you guys can guess why I like her so much. It has to do with what she's wearing and with what I am wearing. But regardless, for today we are going to show off a pretty nice free-to-play centric team consisting of Serval, which I've been talking about Serval a lot recently in my videos, how Serval and Herta will have a really nice synergy. We have Remembrance Trailblazer, and I'll be showing off their kits a bit today as well. And lastly, we have Huohuo, which for the sustain option, this is honestly just up to personal preference. I like Huohuo though because of the energy that she's able to provide the team. We're just going to start off by using Serval's basic attack, and we are immediately going to use her ultimate. And what's really fun about our Serval here, she has a 3-star light cone. So I'm going to be explaining to you guys my Serval's build for today's video. But her goal here is to basically use her ultimate as much as possible to end up helping out Herta when it comes to the interpretation stacks onto enemies. As you guys can see, this enemy right here has 32 stacks. We want to get to the maximum, which is 42, and Serval will be a great character to help out with this. And it is also worth noting that allies will be able to assist with getting Herta energy. As you guys can see, it mentions after attacking, for every 1 target hit, regenerates 3 fixed energy for the Herta with a maximum of 5 targets. Herta has a huge energy cost, so basically Serval will be able to inflict interpretation, use her ultimate very frequently, use her skill often, which allows her to help generate energy for Herta as well. So what we're going to do is use Serval's ultimate right here. And now what we're going to do is actually summon Mem, which is Remembrance Trailblazer's Memo Sprite. And now what we're going to do is use Huohuo's skill. And now with Herta, what we're going to do is use her skill. And as you guys can see, we now have Mem ready to advance forward an ally as Mem's charge is 100%. So we're going to advance forward Herta, there we go. And now we have Mem's support, which will increase our crit rate by 10% as well as allow us to deal true damage for every instance of damage dealt. So now when we use Herta's skill here, let's just do it in normal speed. There we go. And every instance of damage, as you guys can see, is inflicting true damage, which is awesome. And now we're going to use Herta's ultimate, which I absolutely love this ultimate. And as you guys can see, we're also going to be advancing ourselves forward by 100% after using our ultimate as well. And this will actually allow us to use our enhanced skill afterwards. So use the ultimate, bam, there we go. As you guys saw, a bunch of true damage on the screen. Now these little trotters are just gonna die, unfortunately. Please don't tell Topaz I'm doing this. Let me just move out of the way real quick. As you guys can see, we have now a glowing skill. This is our enhanced skill with Herta. And real quick, we could just check all of her buffs. There we go. We have a good amount of buffs right now. Now I can just use the enhanced skill. And she's gonna flick her hair. Bam! There we go. And now with Serval, we are just gonna use her skill again, get some energy, and we also have her ultimate ready to go. We're gonna take advantage of this right now. Boom, there we go. And now we are going to get attacked a bit, but this is perfectly fine. He's just going to summon his little friends. What we're going to do with our Trailblazer here is just basic attack and then also use our ultimate. As you guys can see, we have 24 charge ready for Mem. And now when we use the ultimate, we are going to get a whopping 40 charge plus some additional charge, as I'll show you guys this in a moment once this guy stops attacking us. When it comes to being able to take advantage of Mem for the 100% advance forward, as you guys can see, for every 10 energy regenerated by allies in total, Mem will gain 1 charge. This does include being attacked. This includes when you defeat enemies and get energy from that. And also Huohuo's ultimate is really good for this as well, as this will be able to grant additional energy from Herta, Serval, and then of course Remembrance Trailblazer. But this also helps out with getting charge from Mem, so we can take advantage of that advance forward some more. So now with Serval, what we're going to do is just use a skill. Boom, there we go. Now with our little Huohuo, we are going to basic attack and then use her ultimate like so. And as you guys can see, we have 79 charge, and now we have 89 charge, which is awesome. And now with Herta right here, we are just going to use her skill. Boom, and there we go. We are on to the next wave. we're going to use Herta's ultimate immediately going into this next wave, as we will be able to advance ourselves forward by 100%. So we are going to use our ultimate like so, and bam, there we go. And now with Herta, I'm actually going to basic attack, and the reason I'm going to do this is because of the fact that the Swarm Bug only has 32 stacks of interpretation, and I would prefer this to be a bit more. So we are just going to basic attack. Boom, there we go. And now with Remembrance Trailblazer, we are actually about to get 100% charge once again. So we are just going to use our skill, and now we're going to be able to advance forward Herta once again. And we did replenish the Mem support buff, as you guys can see. We have 3 turns on that remaining. And now with Herta, once again, I'm just going to basic attack. I do want to get to 42 stacks, and we are almost there. So now with Serval, what I can end up doing is doing a basic attack, and then we can also use her ultimate. So there we go. Boom. So now with Huohuo, we are just going to use our skill. There we go. And now the bug is going to summon his other bugs, which is perfectly fine. Serval did get hit a bit there, but this should be okay. Okay, and then we have the other bug, which is going to attack Mem. And now with Serval, we can just use her skill to get a bunch of energy, and we did get her ultimate once again. As you guys can see, I'm getting a bunch of ultimates here with Serval. So now what we could do is basic attack and then use our ultimate here so we can get 40 charge for Mem. We're already at 76 once again. The Trotter is about to die. We did get hit there, but this is perfectly fine. We are getting hit quite a bit here, but this is okay. Now with Herta, now that we have the 42 stacks, let's use her enhanced skill. Boom. And bam, there we go. And now they're going to die, and I'm going to get another ultimate right away, which is awesome. So we are just going to use our ultimate, and we already have 42 stacks ready to go. Now with Herta, I'm just going to use, once again, another enhanced skill. Boom. There we go. There goes Mem, and now we have another advance forward from Mem. Thank you very much, Mem. I appreciate it. Now with Herta, another skill. Bam, there we go. And now what we can do is use a basic attack. With Serval, I'm just gonna basic attack. Oh, we were so close to getting her ultimate, but it's okay. I'm gonna use Remembrance Trailblazer's skill, and the reason why I use the skill occasionally is so I can get the ultimate sooner, so that I can charge up Mem a bit faster, so that I can take advantage of that advance forward. Now with Huohuo, we can just basic attack. With Herta, once again, we're just gonna skill. There we go. Mem is gonna come in. Now with Serval, we can basic attack and now use her ultimate. And bam, there we go. Now the Swarm Bug is going to summon more of his bugs, but this is perfectly fine. Okay, now we have our charge here with Mem. We have the ultimate ready. So we should be able to now advance forward Herta, which is awesome. So there we go. And now we can just use our skill. And now we can take advantage of our ultimate right here. And bam, there we go. So now the Trotters are going to blow up, and so are the bugs, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, the bugs didn't blow up, never mind. Okay, Mem is gonna get attacked, perfectly fine. Now with Herta, we can use an enhanced skill. Bugs are gonna blow up. There we go, boom, and we're gonna get a bunch of energy back for Herta, which is awesome. Now with Serval, I am gonna basic attack, and with Huohuo, I desperately need to use her skill. Herta is a bit low on HP, and I'm also gonna take advantage of Huohuo's ultimate right here. There we go. Now we can basic attack with Remembrance Trailblazer. We have more bugs on the field. Now the bugs are getting ready to attack us, but this is fine. Now we can just use Herta's skill. We do have her ultimate ready to go, so I'm going to take advantage of that. And bam, there we go. Let's see if this is actually enough to finish off this Swarm Bug. We're going to use the enhanced skill. And bam, there we go. 17%. The Trotters are going to, do their thing. 1%, please be enough. Okay, it's literally 1%. Oh no! Okay, this was so close to being a 2-cycle, and honestly, it's fine. It's literally 1%. Wait, can Huohuo kill this bug? No, Huohuo didn't kill the bug. Regardless, though, when I did do my testing, this was a pretty nice 2-cycle. It's only 1%, so this is honestly perfectly fine. But this run was just very, very fun with being able to advance forward Mem, being able to just use so many of Herta's enhanced skills, her ultimates. So we did start off at 28 cycles, but since we were just so close to getting the 2-cycle, which with my testings, I was able to get a 2-cycle on this side. We just got a little unlucky there with that bug not blowing up. Otherwise, we would have gotten it, but it's perfectly fine. I actually have one more showcase for you guys, and this is going to be on the first side of Memory of Chaos 12. The side we just showcased was actually side 2, which had the swarm bug, and a lot of the enemies were ice weak. So I thought, how about we show this team against enemies that are not ice weak at all, just to see how this team performs, to get a good idea of how Herta's performance can be, especially with this more free-to-play centric team on a side that is not ice weak. We were so freaking close to getting the 2-cycle, but honestly, it's perfectly fine. From what it looks like, if there was a bit more optimization, then this could honestly be a 2-cycle on side 1, which once again, I think that is amazing performance when it comes to such a free-to-play centric team. So I'm pretty happy with the results, honestly, and I'd love to know what you guys think. But real quick, we are going to go over the builds for the first showcase just so I can explain everything. And then near the end of the video, I'll just quickly show you guys the builds for the second showcase here. Now, real quick, if we go over the Herta here, her stats, she has a lot of crit rate and crit damage. If your crit damage is lower, that is honestly perfectly fine, as Herta will be able to just give so much crit damage for the team. Real quick, if we go over that, it mentions when there are 2 or more characters following the path of Erudition, which this does include Herta herself, so all we needed on the team was 1 more Erudition, in this scenario, Serval. It will allow us to increase all allies' crit damage by 80%, so all of the allies on this team were able to take advantage of that additional crit damage. So that's definitely a nice benefit with Herta. And overall, when we were playing big Herta, our main goal was to get the 42 interpretation stacks onto the enemy, because with each stack of interpretation, the multiplier for the damage dealt will increase, with each stack granting an increase of 8% on the primary target, 4% on the other targets respectively. What is referred to as a primary target is the enemy that we end up using our enhanced skill on that has the most stacks. It is also worth noting that if 2 or more characters are the path of Erudition, so in this case Herta and Serval, each stack will grant an additional increase of 8% or 4% on the primary targets and other targets respectively. So the primary target will be receiving the most damage, in this case the Swarm Bug boss, in comparison to the Trotters and the Little Bugs, but having another Erudition character will nicely increase the enhanced skill damage for Herta here. Plus, of course, you'll be able to take advantage of that additional crit damage as well, which will further increase her damage output. Since Herta here will be giving so much crit damage with her talent, if you do have a lower amount of crit damage, honestly, it is perfectly fine. I would try to prioritize getting a lot of crit rate, especially if you do decide to use Remembrance Trailblazer. And with their first Eidolon, they'll also be able to grant an ally 10% crit rate, which is why on my Herta in particular, I have 90% crit rate, so I'm trying to ensure that she is able to have 100% crit rate in battle, as missing those crits will definitely not be fun at all. So I definitely want to ensure her crit rate is as high as possible so that she does not end up missing crits, especially when she uses her enhanced skill. It would definitely feel like a waste if she did miss a crit. Plus, you'll be able to just get so much crit damage from her talent. And you'll also be able to get a nice amount of crit damage from Mem as well, as Mem's talent allows all allies' crit damage to increase by 13.2% of Mem's crit damage plus 26.4%. And as you guys can see, Mem has a good amount of crit damage. This technically will be even higher since, of course, Herta's giving 80% crit damage for all allies. As for the rest of her build though, as you guys can see, I am using her signature light cone. This light cone honestly is pretty worthwhile to consider, as it will give the wearer extra crit rate, which as I mentioned is very useful for her, but you will also be able to increase her damage dealt by her skill and her ultimate by 60% for 3 turns after she uses her ultimate. So she'll be able to highly amp up the damage of her enhanced skill, as she will be able to immediately use her enhanced skill after her ultimate if you decide to do so. And then when she does use her ultimate, if the ultimate consumed 140 or more energy, you'll also recover 1 skill point, which Herta's ultimate costs 220 energy. So because of that, she'll be able to get that additional skill points after using her ultimate, and that will definitely provide a lot of comfortability, which I would consider, I would say, quality of life when it comes to just your skill point usage when you are using her, as you will be able to 100% have a skill point readily available to use her enhanced skill. As for traces, they are maxed out. For her relics, we are using Rutland Arena and Scholar Lost in Erudition. For Eidolons, she is completely E0. I have not activated any of these, as you guys can see. Now for Serval, which she was definitely very helpful in this showcase for being able to grant Herta more energy, be able to help out with the interpretation stacks, and also helping out with charging Mem as well. Here are real quick Serval's stats. Her stats are honestly not the greatest, and the main priority here is that I wanted to ensure that she had, of course, an energy regen rope. Her effect hit rate is also a bit on the higher side, as I do want to guarantee her shocks onto enemies. For the light cone option, we are using Passkey. Now what Passkey does that's very useful for this particular showcase is, after the wearer uses their skill, you'll additionally regenerate 12 energy. This is nice for just being able to grant her even more energy to get closer to being able to use her ultimate. And then also for her relics, we are using the Eagle set and the Von Wax set. The reason we're using Eagle set is just so after she uses her ultimate, she'll be able to advance herself forward, which is great for just more attacking frequency. And as you guys can see, we do have an effect hit rate body piece. This is up to personal preference, but I did want to ensure that we were shocking enemies as frequently as possible. We are using speed boots. I am using an HP orb. The reason I'm doing HP is just so she has a bit more survivability, especially because she does have a 3-star light cone equipped. And lastly, we have an energy regen robe. Now, if you wanted to actually use a crit rate body piece, this could be a fine option as well, especially due to the fact that Herta as well as Mem will be able to grant the team more crit damage. And because of that, if your Serval has a bunch of crit rate, but her crit damage is lacking, that's actually fine since she'll be able to get that crit damage from Herta and Mem. As for Eidolon, she is E6. Now for our Remembrance Trailblazer, here they are. Remembrance Trailblazer has a good amount of speed because I do want them to act often so that I am able to regenerate more charge for Mem, as well as of course use more basic attacks or even skills to regenerate more energy here to be able to use the ultimate, as this will grant Mem 40% charge, and this will be a huge contributor for being able to take advantage of Mem more frequently when it comes to the action advance as well as the true damage. And if we take a look real quick, as I've shown you guys, all allies crit damage will increase by Mem's crit damage, which as you guys can see, Mem has 224 crit damage, and so does Remembrance Trailblazer. So because of that, you do want to build Remembrance Trailblazer to have a lot of crit damage, and this light cone is actually an excellent option for that, as this will increase the wearer's crit damage, and whenever the wearer's memo sprite uses an ability on an ally target, which in this case would be Mem's 100% advance forward, it'll increase allies' damage dealt by 16% for 3 turns. This is an excellent Remembrance light cone option to consider using on Remembrance Trailblazer. As for the traces, they are maxed out. For the relics, we are using Lushaka just to give Herta even more attack, as well as of course having additional energy regen. And we do have this new set equipped on Remembrance Trailblazer, which is the 2-piece will increase your attack by 12%, and then for the 4-piece, when the wearer's memo sprite is on the field, it'll increase the wearer's speed by 6%, which I do value the speed quite a bit. And then when the wearer's memo sprite attacks, increases the wearer and memo sprite's crit damage by 30% for 2 turns. And then here are real quick each of the relics. And lastly, we have Huohuo, which you can honestly just use a sustain of your choice. I do really like Huohuo in this slot for, once again, the energy she'll provide with her ultimate, plus the attack is pretty nice. But in the case of the energy, this will help with Mem's charge, this will help with giving Herta energy, and if Serval is just a little bit off from being able to use her ultimate, which I believe actually did happen in this showcase, Huohuo will be able to help out with this. Real quick, here are Huohuo's stats. For Huohuo, she is using Quid Pro Quo, which is a completely free-to-play light cone. This will be able to grant 16 energy for a random ally, excluding the wearer, when their current energy is lower than 50%. This will be really useful for just being able to grant more energy when it comes to the Herta or Remembrance Trailblazer if their energy is below 50%. For her traces, they are maxed out. For her relics, we are using Passerby for the additional outgoing healing, as well as the additional skill point in the beginning of the battle, and we are also using Lushaka for the additional energy regen, and then also the 12% attack for the first character on the team, which in this case is Herta. So here are each of the pieces. And lastly, for Eidolons, completely E0. So yeah, this is today's team. I showed you guys fully the builds, and honestly, once again, I would say it is very free-to-play centric. Serval is a completely free character. She's also using a 3-star light cone. Remembrance Trailblazer will be completely free in 3.0, and they are also using a 4-star light cone as well. And then we have Huohuo, who is also using Quid Pro Quo. And as for other sustain options you can consider, you can use Lingsha, you can use Gallagher with Quid Pro Quo, you can use Aventurine. It's really up to you for the sustain option. I just personally really like Huohuo on this team. And in the slot of Remembrance Trailblazer, you can of course even consider using a character like Sunday. Sunday will be very nice for this type of team as well, since his ultimate will be able to grant a nice amount of energy for Herta, plus give pretty similar buffs in the case of the additional crit damage for Herta. Sunday will be able to provide the 100% advance forward as well as increase the damage she deals, and then also taking advantage of the crit rate will be pretty nice. I will say though, in the case of Remembrance Trailblazer, the true damage is really nice for being able to just deal additional damage onto enemies, and I cannot wait to honestly experiment with this even more, and I think they're honestly a really nice free-to-play option when it comes to numerous teams. So once again, I will be testing out Remembrance Trailblazer more with varieties of teams, just to see how they function on other team comps as well, but I'm personally a pretty big fan of Remembrance Trailblazer when it comes to using them as a free-to-play option for Big Herta here. But yeah, honestly, that'll be it for today's video. I will be uploading more showcases very soon, so stay tuned for those. And if you have any showcase suggestions, let me know in the comments down below. And I hope you all did, of course, enjoy this video. If you did, do make sure to subscribe, leave a like to support the video, and I hope to see you all next time. Peace.